I still remember the moment that my dad told me that my brother had an intellectual disability. When Ricky was around 18 and I had just turned 9, we were on a family vacation, and he had just thrown a tantrum in a restaurant, forcing us to cut our night short. Back at the hotel, I was lying in bed with my dad, and I built up the courage to ask him when Ricky was going to get better. I had seen the medicine that he was taking every day, so I assumed that whatever he had would eventually subside. Do you remember that time that your parents told you Santa wasn't real? That feeling of, wait, hold up, how is he not real? Who else is going to bring me that super soaker or that easy bake oven on Christmas morning? Well, imagine that feeling times 1,000. That's what I felt when my dad told me that Ricky would never be cured. When he told me that Ricky had Asperger's syndrome, and that was just the way he was and would be forever. The thing is, up until that point I had this idea in my head that yes, my brother had his quirks here and there, but he had been to the doctor, he was going to get better. Intellectual disability was a scary phrase to me. While it is the correct terminology, it made it sound like there was something wrong or damaged about my brother, and there really wasn't. It just didn't add up, and I took the news pretty hard that day. The dynamics of our relationship changed immediately. The line between the roles of big brother and little brother had always been blurred, but now I felt like it was my job to protect Ricky. I wish I would have known how naive I was being. That kind of outlook, looking at his disability as a condition, could not have been more counterproductive. And for a couple of years I tried to correct him when his behavior was not conforming to what I considered the norm, which only led to frustration for both of us. However, a couple years ago something changed. My brother joined Special Olympics, and he was immersed in a community where he fit in and could thrive. He suddenly was brought out of his shell, quickly becoming the independent and outgoing person he is today. Special Olympics pushed him outside of his comfort zone and demanded that he grow as a person, and we supported him as a family in every new endeavor he undertook, whether it was trying a new sport or delivering a speech. He eventually became an athlete leader and is now training to be a Special Olympics global messenger. He even landed his first job as an aide to the City of Doral Parks and Rec Department. Watching his transformation from the outside made me realize that I had the wrong approach the whole time. Trying to fit Ricky into this preconceived and faulty notion of what was normal was ridiculous, because 1, is there really such thing as being normal? And who exactly decides that? And 2, that was not his nature. It was a fruitless effort, and would always be. Instead, what I should have done, and what I try to do now, is enter his world, and do my best to see through his eyes. I should have just been playing along the whole time. That's something that I know I have to work on, that tendency to want to have control over a situation. The fact of the matter is, the second I changed my mindset, the results were instant. He wants to listen to the same song for 2 hours straight? That's cool with me, we'll jam out to it together. He's having a tough morning and he's in a bad mood? I'll bring up his favorite movie and see his eyes light up again. And if I'm lucky, he might even crack a smile. Just the other day, he came into my room telling me about this new song he had heard, Watch Me Whip. So naturally, I taught him the dance move that accompanies the song, and now hitting the whip is our favorite inside joke. But a valuable lesson was learned, one that I'm still trying to process and apply in my life. And I invite you to apply to yours. Life becomes a lot easier when you stop measuring others by some arbitrary ruler, like what is normal or acceptable. Personal relationships have no place for such a closed-minded view. What we should be doing is genuinely trying to enter the world of those around us. I could stand here and hit you with cliche after cliche, but at the end, it all comes down to empathy. I strongly believe that the ability to fully empathize with others, not just to understand their situation, but also to feel what they're feeling, is the key to a stress-free and constructive relationship with them. The reason behind it is twofold. Firstly, it puts you on the same page, allowing for both of you to build on and fully enjoy the bond between one another. And secondly, it forces you not only to see things differently, which perhaps could lead to an alteration of your perspective, but it also pushes you to grow as a person in terms of understanding and compassion, 2 characteristics that are at the core of what it means to be human, and that our society is in dire need of nowadays. Challenge yourself. You have your whole life to see the world through your eyes. You never know what you're going to discover if you look through the eyes of another. Thank you.